Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Mondays Are For the Nerds.
I'm your host, Tristan Stump,
And I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
and welcome back for another Monday of Nerdy News Recaps.
Mm-hmm. You know how we said last week nothing happened? And we had to scramble to kind of fill stuff in.
Absolute nothing burger.
Yeah.
Well, this week, we kind of expected it because we knew that the Summer Game Fest was happening this weekend.
Only not as much.
Yeah, not as I did not expect so much because Jeff Keighley was like, "Hey, you don't get your hopes up," which that's a whole other conversation in yourself to say don't get your hopes up before an event that so many people have paid to be a part of. But whatever. But yeah, so we have a lot to go through. So we're going to be a little bit different of an episode structure wise because
change the format a little bit
just so we can go. I have I usually stick around 3 to 4 pages. I have 7 pages of news today. So, and that's not even all of it. I missed so much.
Yeah.
Because I guess we can start a small talk. I had a crazy week.
Yeah.
I really didn't get to do a whole lot of nerdy stuff other than to read about nerdy stuff. Squidward meme was walking through the windows or SpongeBob and Patrick run by.
Right.
Someone called in or I got sick. I got sick and then had to cover someone else who got sick all in the same week. So it's been very, very work heavy. So...
Not much entertainment on your end.
I got behind on my research for this week's episode, especially come the night of Summer Games Fest, where all crap hit the fan. And I will try to cover as much as possible, but if something's not in here,
there's reasons.
There's
somewhat out of our control, but
I think this is the most we've just hit the ground running with an episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Anything interesting with you this week?
No, kept working on the Titanic. Kept going on some Cheers, as usual. Went to the movies, which I'll talk about once we get there. But that's about it. Not much. All right, and so we'll get right into it. Movies that came out this week, we'll start on Wednesday, June 5th. We got a new shark movie on Netflix called Under Paris, which follows Sophia, a brilliant scientist, comes to know that a large shark is swimming deep in the river. I forget which river it is. But I've heard both reactions say it's good and also one of the worst things I've ever seen, which is of a Netflix shark movie.
I said that. Yeah. If you Jaws is probably the only shark movie. I mean, Meg is fine, but if a shark is your main villain, you just automatically know you're in for either the worst or best thing you've ever seen.
Exactly.
There is no in between.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Is on the best side of that. Granted, he's not the main villain. All right, and then Thursday, June 6th, we got a Max original called Am I OK?, Dakota Johnson's new movie. After a deeply buried, long-held secret is revealed, two good friends sort through old patterns and new feelings amid the chaos. Friday, June 7th, we got 3 big ones. Bad Boys, Ride or Die, came out in theaters, the 4th Bad Boys installment. I took my mom to see that. She hadn't seen any Bad Boys movies before that, so I didn't know quite how she would react. She loved it. She liked it. She was laughing a lot. I laughed a lot. And, of course, the chemistry between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence is, never ending.
Yeah.
It'll never end. It was real funny. The Watchers came out in theaters, directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. A 28-year-old artist gets stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland. Finding shelter, she unknowingly becomes trapped alongside 3 strangers who are stalked by mysterious creatures every night. And then Hitman, my boy Glenn Powell, finally made its appearance on Netflix. You kind of heard us talk about it last week when I saw it at the Alamo Draft House. I would definitely recommend seeing that. I almost watched it the other night, or last night. I'm definitely going to hit it multiple times. TV, Sunday, June 2nd, we got the Season 3 premiere of Mayor of Kingstown. I believe this is Jeremy Renner's first acting role since his snowplow accident.
I believe so, yeah.
Came out, or started on Paramount+. Billy the Kid Season 2B came back on MGM+. Monday, June 3rd, we got the Season 16 premiere of American Ninja Warrior and the Season 3D return of Celebrity Name That Tune on Fox. Tuesday, the Acolyte series premiere was on Disney+, the new Star Wars show. I loved it.
You loved it? I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I don't know if I told you this, but when I pulled it up to watch it, it was 2 minutes after it dropped Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
and Disney Plus hadn't had the run times on there yet. So I was like, I didn't want to pause it because I didn't know how long I wouldn't have to wait. But yeah, it was really good. I loved it. I was so engrossed in it. I forget who the main dude's name is, the actor. He's from Squid Game. Mm-hmm. But he was so good. And he actually learned English for the role.
Or I say, didn't he learn English in like 4 months?
Yeah. Just for that role alone.
Just for
to be in Star Wars.
Just for Star Wars, which just goes to show you like the impact as a, you know.
Yeah. He was the main guy in Squid Game, but he was fantastic. The dude who played, I forget what his name is, but he's in it. He was in a couple of the earlier seasons of Chicago Fire, which my family and I watched when it was on TV. It was at least probably 10-ish years ago at least. So it was good to see him in like a main role so far. Tuesday also, we got the series premiere of the limited series on FX called Clipped. The story of I believe the subtitle is LA's other basketball team, about the Clippers and the whole scandal that went down a couple years ago. Thursday, June 6th, Criminal Minds Evolution Season 2 dropped on Paramount Plus. And Friday, June 7th, we got the Season 2 premiere of Transformers Earthspark on Paramount Plus, as well as Pat Sajak's final Wheel of Fortune episode, which you did not know until like Monday or Tuesday.
And you told me they said it like a year ago?
I think it was last year sometime. I don't know when exactly, but I had to think it was around this time this year.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed it. So who's...
Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, okay.
Vanna's staying on, I believe, but which is going to be weird without Pat.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But Vanna's are forever.
Exactly.
Or something.
Exactly.
I
no one
don't
else
know.
can spin the letters.
Some joke, once again, not sticking the landing with a joke that just popped into my head. All right, on to some game releases this week. Not a whole lot. A lot of, I think, people were keeping their news and release dates for after Games Fest, so they could,
not be overshadowed.
Yeah, not be overshadowed. But June 3rd, we got Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road, the next big expansion to the game, on PC and Mac. The expansion will come to consoles on June 18th. On June 4th, we got Season 6 of Mortal Kombat 1 launching. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, launched on all platforms except for Switch. Star Wars Hunters, the PvP Star Wars game, launched on Switch, Apple Arcade, and Google Play. On June 5th, we got the indie game Ghost Teen Escape from Limbo. It's a retro puzzle platformer on PC. It's like a black and white pixel game. It looks all right. June 6th, Octopath Traveler and Octopath Traveler 2, they were both timed exclusives for the Switch, and then they eventually came to PC. They launched on PS4, 5, and Xbox out of nowhere. I want to say, like, someone saw a couple days ago, oh, it got rated in another country. That's weird. And then they're like, oh, hey, it's out on consoles now.
Yeah.
So
like, oh, hey,
that was just kind of a casual drop. Also on June 6th was biggest game of the year, The Smurfs Village Party.
Yes. Just kidding.
I just an aside, these party games, they're Mario Party clones. It's Mario Party mini games, but with Smurfs or Garfield or whatever. They always take out the board game part of it. It's always just the mini games. And I've always wondered why it's like, no, the board game part's fun. The mini games are also fun, but it's fun to go, okay, so the mini games gives me extra things to do on the board, not just playing and seeing who can win the most things.
It's fun to screw your friends over by going one path on the board and then preventing them from going on another one.
Yeah.
Chronister.
Name dropping people here. June 7th, we got Dragon is Dead on PC, which was also showcased at the Summer Games Fest. I didn't quite pick up on what kind of game it was. It looks interesting. Mm-hmm. We also got Forgotten Seas on PC, which was also shown off at Summer's Games Fest. And once again, I only glanced at the trailer because there was so much and so little time for me to actually be able to take it in. So,
yeah.
June 8th, Alan Wake 2 Night Springs, which is a DLC expansion for Alan Wake 2. That released.
Didn't I see it was free?
I
or
think
was that not free?
I don't know.
I was like strolling at lunch one day.
I couldn't say for sure. And we also got Kameru Frog Refuge. I probably butchered that pronunciation. It is a cozy game about like collecting frogs and putting them in like your home or whatever. That released on PC, Xbox, and Switch. That is it for my game releases this week. There are a lot of little mobile games and a bunch of re-releases that I was like, I won't write that down because I've got so much else to go through.
Yeah.
But those are the big things.
Big ones.
Octopath I wrote down because it was just out of nowhere, and Octopath is really good. It's a very good game. It's got that HD 2D style I was telling you about, where it was, it's like a pop-up book version of a Super Nintendo game with realistic lighting and stuff. So very pretty games. The soundtracks to both games are just...
I've heard Octopath is pretty good. I've heard of it before.
And because what it is you get 8 different people with 8 different stories, and they don't really overlap except for when they join your party. There's times when you're camping that the characters can interact, and that's about the only time they do it a little more in Octopath Traveler 2. They overlap a little more, but other than lore points or the final boss of the game, there's nothing really that...
Not really.
So you're getting 8 separate RPGs in one, basically.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. I was playing through the first one. I got about halfway through, and then Paper Mario and other things caught my attention. I have a really bad habit.
Priorities.
I have ADD in real life, but I have game ADD where I just like play through most of a game, or maybe even like the beginning of a game, be like, ooh, this game, I also have that in my library. Or I'll, like with books, I'll buy a new game and then forget about it for...
Yep.
I have a copy of Persona 5 Strikers that's been sitting on my shelf for 2-3 months. Haven't touched it once.
My guy, I wish I was like that. You know how completionist I am.
Well, that's the bad thing. I'm a completionist. So then I'll have to go, okay, especially with an RPG, I'm like, where was I? I don't want to restart this.
Exactly. And
so many hours.
Because you remember what it is.
Unless I really like it. Like, I think I'm on the last dungeon of Persona 5 Royal on my Switch, but I got it on my PS4, and so I could play it and complete it again with achievements.
Yeah.
And so I started playing through that again because I just really like it.
Yeah.
So...
That's all your releases? Should I hit all my movie news?
Some movie news
Clear
this week.
That out of the way?
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's more than it usually is, but not as much as you have in games. So in posters this week, we got a bunch of new posters for The Boys Season 4. They kind of release sporadically throughout the week with characters on them, 1 to 2 at a time. New poster for Alien Romulus. The new IMAX poster for Twisters, which also tickets went on sale, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Like a Dragon Yakuza, we got a new trailer for that. And we got a new trailer for the 7 Samurai 4K restoration, which will be coming to select theaters later this year. We got a bunch of new trailers this week. It was kind of sporadically throughout the week, starting with Bridgerton Season 3 Part 2. We got a new trailer for that. That releases on Netflix on June 13th. We got a new trailer for Alien Romulus, releasing in theaters on August 16th. We got our final trailer for Inside Out 2, releasing next week, June 14th in theaters. Be looking forward to that next week. We got a new trailer for Maxine, which releases on July 5th in theaters. New trailer for The Killer's Game, releasing on September 13th in theaters. We got a new surprise trailer for Piece by Piece, the Lego Pharrell Williams biopic, coming out in October in theaters. I don't believe it has an exact release date. You know the Lego movie is my favorite movie of all time. Favorite.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the first one after Universal bought it.
Yes.
And so I like Pharrell Williams.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a hot take. We might have to cut this out. I don't think he's necessarily done that much to get a biopic yet.
I think he has. He's done more
a
than
little bit.
He's done more than
I probably realize.
But it's weird that it's Lego.
Yeah.
A biopic in Lego.
Yeah.
That isn't
creative.
Yeah.
But I'm like
creative, but also not the person I would have assumed got a Lego biopic.
Yeah.
Like,
unless he's like a secret massive Lego fan.
Yeah. Like I would have figured that. I don't know. It feels like someone who's a little younger, because he's only 51, but someone who's younger, like, I don't know, a YouTuber? A YouTuber is what I would expect a Lego biopic from. Yeah, instead of Draw My Life, it's, Build My Life or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does mean we officially get a Lego Snoop Dogg, so, like...
It is true. And in a dog form. Did you watch the trailer?
Yes.
He does turn into a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And that... Got a Lego Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, a bunch of artists and that. And I mean, it's a big step for Universal. It's definitely like they're taking a big step with this.
Yes.
I'm just like, when I think of the Lego movie, I think of like the absurd comedy that comes with the 4 that we got. And I'm like, I know it's not Warner Brothers, but can you just give us the Billion Brick Race, please?
Right?
I wanted that so bad. And they canceled it. Not for the universal reasons. Anyway, my little rant there. I'm sure it's going to be fine, and I'm sure I'm probably going to enjoy it. I mean, it looks very creative. Very creative.
I can't wait till it gets to the part where he explains his involvement with Illumination. I would assume that's part of the movie.
I would
because that's been a huge part of his career for the past.
I made a joke today. He's basically like Illumination's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He's
making all the songs for the movies.
He's more like Illumination's. What's his name? Toy Story.
Randy
Newman.
Yeah.
He is Illumination's Randy Newman.
That's fair.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is Disney's modern day Alan Menken. And Alan Menken's still doing stuff, but like he's kind of passing the torch.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
And Randy Newman will make like one song that's like fire.
Yeah, like he went from doing full soundtracks to do another Toy Story. Here's I won't let you throw yourself away. I'm out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boom. We got a new teaser for the highly anticipated Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, releasing late 2024. I don't think they announced a release date for that.
No, just later this year, dude.
Late 2024 on Netflix.
So
featuring the return of Feathers McGraw. And I love how they teased it because they dropped a bunch of stuff in the pan, and then you just see his like red glove, and I'm like,
we had to have seen it coming, because why would they just randomly make a new Feathers McGraw model for a cameo in Chicken Run?
Exactly. It's gonna be good.
So one thing I can't gather, they called it's their new next film. Is it feature length or is it like a special, like their other films?
I believe it's feature length.
Is it feature length? Because Were Rabbit's the only other feature. This is the only feature length.
Which I believe won an Oscar, by the way.
Yes, I believe it did.
It's like one of the first non-Disney ones to win an Oscar for best animated feature. But yeah, I believe it's feature length.
Yes, maybe. I hope.
I hope too. Because I love Wallace and Gromit.
I need to. They for like $16. They have the complete, except for Were Rabbit. They have the complete collection of Wallace and Gromit on DVD at Walmart. Yeah. I've been meaning to grab that because just so I have it. I've been trying to get my DVD collection up.
Yeah,
and I want to get the. I wonder if you can still buy or still find the the Telltale Games Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit. I didn't know they made one. They did. So awesome.
I can't remember what it's called now. It was around the same time where they were doing things like Strong Bad's game for cool, attractive people.
Yeah.
Or like when they were doing their, it's not based on a comic of,
Yeah. I'm so excited to see this, and I'm sure I'm going to laugh so hard when it comes out. It's gonna be a good one.
I go, Wallace and Gromit also has a special place in my heart because Yumi, Hayden, and Trent would quote that thing all the time where it's, I'm not dabbing, I'm searching the floor for cheese.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Consume the cheese. I can't remember the name of that YouTube channel now.
No, you should unlock like a core memory. Oh my goodness, that was a good time. We got a new trailer for the Among Us series with a stacked cast coming out on Netflix.
I don't.
Paramount. Amazon. It's coming out somewhere.
It's coming out on
We've
a
named
platform.
about almost all of them. I know it's not
on
Disney.
A platform that you either do have a subscription for, or if you care about it, it's probably on the subscription service you don't have.
Exactly.
Because that's how it works for me. Yeah. A franchise I'm really into gets a series picked up, and it's it's not on HBO, because why would a Batman show be on the streaming service that they are also owned by? No, it's going to be on Prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. The cast is exciting, but I'm more excited. I want to say it's the creative director behind it, like more like what would be the creator of the series, except that he didn't create it.
Yeah.
So developer, creative director,
executive producer, whatever it
is. I believe his name is Owen Dennis. He created Infinity Train. I don't know. You've probably heard me talk about Infinity Train. A show that should have gotten it should have been able to finish its story. It was popular enough that it could have, but it got caught in the crossfire when Warner Brothers started kind of going down the crapper.
Just before Max became a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Before. Oh yeah, I keep calling it
the Discovery merger.
Here's the thing: I still call it HBO Max.
That's fine.
It's kind of like Twitter versus X, where I'm just like,
I'm still calling it Twitter.
Yeah, I still call it tweets.
Yeah,
I retweeted it.
Check my Twitter notifications.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You people know what I mean. Anyway,
aside,
That's an aside.
That's an aside.
That's gonna be the caption. Okay. Anyway, our last trailer that came out this week was Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, releasing on August 9th on Paramount Plus. It is the continuation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Still animated, obviously.
Yeah, 2D animated though.
2D animated. Yeah, it's not like the same kind of animation they had for the movie. And the original cast is returning, including Io Adebri, at least for the Turtles and April.
Yeah.
We'll
see if so we'll see if I wonder, it would be cool if Jackie Chan can come back, that they got the guy that played him for Jackie Chan Adventures, one of the best animated series based on a celebrity of all time, if not the best.
Oh my goodness.
Camp Candy's up there, but
Yeah.
You don't even know what Camp Candy is, do you?
I don't think so.
1980s, I believe.
Is it John Candy?
John Candy.
Oh, I assumed
the
it was
theme
John
song
Candy.
is sung by him. It should not have been. Life with Louie, Little Rosie. Dude, I was obsessed with cartoons. I'm already obsessed with cartoons. I went through a kick where I was like going, okay, did a celebrity get a cartoon? I'm going to watch it. And for better or for worse, I went through most of them.
Woo. Oh, that was good. Oh my goodness.
Wheezing.
Your delivery on this was amazing. Should have been. All right. We also got a trailer for The Legend of Vox Machina. Returns October 3rd, and it features a new score and a new title sequence. I believe for what season?
Season 3. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So
I forgot to write that down.
I was already I liked Critical Role, but I hadn't watched the first session or first campaign, which this is based on. I had watched a little bit of the second from clips here and there that people had shown me, and then 3 is when I really got in. But I had always been aware of them, especially because I have so many friends who are into D&D. Yeah. And on top of that, being a voice actor nerd like I am, finding out that it's every person that's a part of it is a voice actor.
Yeah.
And Ashley Johnson, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham,
Yeah.
But
everyone that you know and love from the Critical Role series.
Yes.
Is returning.
Is returning and voicing their characters. And they just started, I think they just tweeted that they are recording lines for their second animated series based on their second campaign, Mighty 9, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. But very good. Not for kids, but very good.
We also got some first looks and new looks came this week. First looks at the Sausage Party sequel series, releasing on Amazon Prime on...
You always sneak in one thing.
July 11th.
You always sneak in one thing that I'm going to be like, why are you talking to me about this?
Most of the cast is returning. Seth Rogen, Kristen Wiig, Michael Cera. I'm just going to name drop some. Edward Norton.
I am trying my best to interrupt him.
No, we will talk about Sausage Party. We will talk about it when it comes out.
I had a friend.
I will move on from now.
I had a friend who worked at the Glass Sword when it came out, who was like, it was so many parents he had to turn away to be like, hey, this isn't for kids, because cartoons are for kids. And it's like, as a parent, I mean, I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, I don't know if I would look at a movie called Sausage Party and be like, oh, that's for kids.
Yeah. And look at the posters.
Yeah. Sorry, I could rant about stuff like that. Just, I mean, when it came out on DVD, I had to stop a lady from buying it because her 5-year-old picked it up and she almost put it in the cart. And I was like,
a movie about hot dogs. You're like, no.
Yeah, I was like, lady.
No. Wait for that last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You might have cut that part out.
All I said was, ma'am, look at the back of the box. And she looked at it and she was like,
oh no. Realized my mistakes.
Anyway.
We got some new looks, quite a bit. New look, the first clip released for Ultraman Rising. We got a new look at Willem Dafoe as Afterlife Crimes cop Wolf Jackson from Beetlejuice. We got our first clip from Despicable Me 4. We got a couple new clips from Inside Out 2, including our first look at... not first look, we've seen pictures of him. Mm-hmm. First actual clip featuring Lance Slashblade, the video game character that Riley is fresh on.
That was the one part of the Summer Games Fest that I actually got to watch live.
Lance Slashblade.
Yeah.
And he actually looks like he's from the early 2000s.
Early 2000s, which people are like, how would a girl who's supposed to be 13 in 2024? It's like, she's not
You can play retro games.
You can play retro games, and also I think it's only supposed to be a few years after the first movie. And if we say the first movie set in 2015,
it has to be at least maybe 1 year after.
If we say I think it's 2 years because she's 11 in the first one.
I'm saying
she's
it can't
13.
it can't be like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and so
Because
if it's set in 2015, if the first one was set in 2015 when the movie came out, then she would have been old enough for her parents to probably still have a PS2 for her and her friends to play on and stuff. Like,
yeah. I mean, you look at Uncharted 4. She's playing Crash Bandicoot,
yeah,
the OG at the end or in the epilogue.
Yeah, I mean, I understand fictional characters playing video games is perfectly
it's perfectly okay,
reflective of what it's like in real life. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
and you can have a crush on a video game character. Why am I getting so upset by this?
I think we all did growing up. There was one video game character or two or several that you're probably embarrassed by now. I'm not projecting at all.
Neither am I. I truly am not. I didn't play video games until way on later in my life. We got a new clip for The Boys Season 4, a new look at Arcane Season 2. First clip from Maxine, first clip from Borderlands, the movie, which I have not seen yet. I'm sure that was released at Game Fest because it came out with that news I saw on my feed. Mm-hmm. And the first clip from Donald Duck in DIY Duck releases on Disney Plus and Disney Animation Studios YouTube channel Sunday. So by the time you're listening to this, you can go watch it.
I almost wrote down the name then I was like, no, Jay would write it down, and then he ended up not. Yeah. The guy that directed it and helped with animation and stuff was a Disney legend. And he retired. Like, this was his last name before he retired.
Oh, well, now I feel bad for not including it.
I included what was on the tweet. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. But it's one of the last things the last thing he did before he retired. And so it's pretty big. And it's 2D animated.
It's like classic Donald Duck.
It's classic Donald Duck. And the clip that we saw, it's funny. I mean, it's Disney funny. I've always thought
it's like Donald Duck Disney
Looney
funny.
Tunes is funnier.
I
Disney
agree.
Is funny in its own way, especially when they don't get down to the audience's level, like all the Goofy shorts when Goofy, not the stupid Goofy, the everyman Goofy. All those shorts, so funny. Mm-hmm. And Donald Duck's always been, I mean, because he's the one that he gets angry so it's automatically just going to be
off the rails.
Because it's except for some of his earlier ones, which are sketchy. You look at Donald, he gets mad and he just starts destroying things. Exactly. It's like same.
I mean, it brought upon DuckTales.
Yeah.
We got some new announcements this week. Sarah Snook will star in a new thriller series for Peacock titled All Her Fault. It follows a mother who goes to pick up her son from a playdate, but the woman who answers the door isn't a mother she recognizes, isn't the nanny, and doesn't have her son. They're going to make a new Hostel series starring Paul Giamatti and Eli Roth is set to produce. Alec Baldwin announced that he will launch his own reality series in 2025 with his wife and 7 children entitled The Baldwins. Monster High, we're getting a live-action movie in the works at Universal with Akiva Goldsman writing the script. We got a new look, it was announced this week that the Angry Birds movie 3 is in the works, and Jason Sudeikis and Josh Gad will return as Red and Chuck, respectively.
And Truman Van Thorpe is writing and producing it. Which he wrote and produced the last one, and he's the creator of Flapjack.
Yeah. Which we have our own little
Angry Birds
2.
Angry Birds 2 is probably up there with Into the Spider-Verse as far as like inside jokes and bonding as friends. Like
the one scene specifically.
Whenever I recommend the movie to people, I show them that scene.
For people who don't know, we're talking about the urinal scene.
Yeah, the urinal scene.
The Angry Birds movie 2.
Where they're disguised as the
peak.
It is
Angry Birds comedy.
Yeah, it is probably Angry Birds 1 is fine. Like, I would say it is a fine movie. Angry Birds 2, so good.
Over the top.
Yeah.
It's so good. And there's Jason Sudeikis and Josh Gad both returning.
So good. It almost makes you forget they only asked Anthony to come back and not Ian.
Exactly.
I don't know why I'm referencing
Smosh fans.
YouTubers so much. Anyway.
It was announced that Susan Collins will be writing a new The Hunger Games book, subtitled Sunrise on the Reaping. It will follow the second quarter quell, which featured and won by Haymitch, played by Woody Harrelson in the movies, and then not an hour after that, it was announced that the movie will be coming out on November 20th, 2026, which is what a lot of people have been waiting for.
You almost wonder if they just wanted to make a sequel to the movie first, and they were like, well, they're all based on books.
Exactly. I saw someone say, like, what made Miss Collins come out of the running after not writing Mockingjay Part 2 for like 10 or something years, and then Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out.
Royalty checks. That's the answer to that question.
Exactly. I'm very excited for that because I really love. I've heard people say like, who's they're going to cast as President Snow, because it's too young to be Donald Sutherland, too old to be Tom Blythe, and people are like, Kiefer Sutherland, he looks just like his dad.
Yeah,
and he's like right around that right age that he would have to be.
That reminds me. This is an aside.
So Mick Burgess is gonna have to be the same.
Yeah. So,
sorry.
It wasn't until the series finale of Young Sheldon premiered that I figured out that the woman who played his mom was the daughter of the woman who played his mom on Big Bang Theory.
Wait. Oh, okay. You mom. I thought you were talking about Annie Potts.
No, not Annie Potts.
But
no.
The mom. Yeah.
The mom.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was like.
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, she looks a lot like the woman that plays her.
You're like, excellent casting.
And Piper's like, well, that's her daughter. And I was like, oh.
Mine is blown.
So,
that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm very excited for that. Sunrise on the Reaping. Motel Transylvania is a new series following Drac and Mavis as they head to California to set up a new resort, releasing in 2025 on Netflix. We're going to get a new movie focusing on plankton from SpongeBob, releasing on Netflix in 2025.
Written and produced, maybe directed. I think it's just written and produced by the guy that voices him, Mr. Lawrence.
So the person who knows him
best, who's been writing for him. He auditioned with that voice for SpongeBob.
I can't imagine that. I don't like that. I can see it as maybe Patrick, but not SpongeBob.
But no, going back to Motel Transylvania, because I just want to bring it up. I didn't know it was in the works. It's exciting.
I don't know.
I just hope it's better than Hotel Transylvania 4, which was decent, and also very exciting to see Brian Hull be a big. So I wonder if Brian Hull is coming back as Drac.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Because I doubt if he's after 3 movies, I would say he's done. Same with Kevin James and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I wonder if Selena Gomez is going to return. She might. She's still doing Only Murders.
She can still do. She still wants to do TV shows.
Yeah.
For all we know, though, they could get the cast from the TV show who played Drac and Mavis.
That's true. I haven't seen that.
Which it was fine.
Yeah.
They just had timeline issues.
Which has most spin-off shows too. Yeah. Yeah. For animated movies, we got they're making a White Collar reboot starring, and Matt Bomer will be returning. This one interests me. This is the last new announcement I saw. And it makes me very excited, and it gives me some Shaun the Sheep. I don't know if you saw this. Some Shaun the Sheep vibes.
All right.
There's going to come out a new movie. I'm not sure if it's animated or not. I'm sure it is because of the premise. Titled 3 Bags Full, a sheep detective movie. Starring Hugh Jackman, Emma Thompson, Nicholas Braun, Nicholas Galitzine, Molly Gordon, and Hong Chow. It releases on February 20th, 2026 in theaters, and here's the plot. Follows a shepherd who reads a murder mystery story to a sheep every night until the shepherd is found dead, and the sheep must find out who killed him. They didn't specify if this is live action or animated. I would assume it's animated.
I would assume it's so animated, funny. But if it's live action, I hope it's animated like the Air Buddies movies.
Real lambs
with real lambs, but they're standing there, their mouths moving. I mean, for all we know, it'll be live action, quote unquote, like The Lion King. But
and be like photo.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm assuming it had to be like Jungle Book, where you got the shepherd and all that.
Yeah.
Thing is, I know some of these people are British. Mm-hmm. Why do I want to see Hugh Jackman either voice an Irish shepherd, and I'm assuming they're Irish, voice an Irish shepherd or like a gruff ram.
A gruff ram.
The sheep.
What if he's the shepherd?
That's what I'm like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually see him I just picture Wolverine like reading to sheep in that like gruff voice about a murder mystery, like an Agatha Christie novel.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this movie when I saw it.
All right, this week we're reading and then there were none, bub.
Exactly. That shot to like one of my highly anticipated so far.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I hope it's
That's
animated.
Going to be a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some new casting this week, adding to our Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery casting. We got Josh Brolin and Thomas Hayden Church, both very big names, casting in that. Badlands. Elle Fanning was cast. It's Dan Trachtenberg's next Predator movie set sometime in the future. He directed Prey a couple years ago. We got Watch Dogs, the movie based on the video game. Tom Blythe has been cast alongside Sophia Wilde, starring it. A couple months back, Sam Mendes announced he was going to be making 4 Beatles biopics based on each of the members simultaneously. Mm-hmm. We got the reported cast. Harris Dickinson is reported to be playing John Lennon. Paul Mescal is Paul McCartney. Barry Kagan, I never know how to say his name, will be playing Ringo Starr, and Charlie Rowe will be playing George Harrison. This is all reportedly.
Yeah.
But like a lot of sources talked about it. So The Phoenician Scheme, Wes Anderson's next movie, will star Riz Ahmed, Bill Murray, Tom Hanks, Michael Cera, Willem Dafoe, Rupert Friend, Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, and Benedict Cumberbatch. So a couple of like Wes Anderson usuals and a couple of new ones. Freaky Friday 2, Julia Butters will star. Which, have you seen American Housewife?
Yes.
She's the little girl in that. She was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So is this a sequel to the...
It's a sequel to the original, and I believe Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis
are... Not the original, because...
I mean,
that would have to be
Disney
about like
original.
the granddaughter, but yeah.
The Disney original.
Okay.
I believe Jamie Lee
the
and
Disney,
Lindsay are both
the other one's also a Disney movie, like the old one's also. It's the original,
the reboot of the reboot,
the 2000s,
the Lindsay Lohan,
the Lindsay Lohan one. Is Lindsay Lohan coming back?
I believe her and Jamie Lee are coming back. I know they want to, and that might have been something I just missed, but this didn't say specifically if they were returning. It just said Julia Butters will star in it. Okay. So I'm assuming she's going to be like, if they do like a triple swap or something like that. Yeah, that'll be hilarious. We got some comic book news. Or comic book entertainment news. DC on the Superman side for James Gunn's Superman, Beck Bennett was cast in an unknown role. Might know him from SNL and Launchpad from the DuckTales reboot.
This sounds weird. I'm trying to think of a good comedic role for him.
I have no idea. There's so much in that movie that I'm like, I wouldn't picture from a Superman movie.
Because I've stopped trying to cast people in my head based on looks because they can do whatever with makeup and all that.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to think of a good character that I'm like Beck Bennett would be good, and part of me wants him to play. I cannot remember his name.
Deep voice.
Part of me wants him to play the sailor. You know who I'm talking about? He owns. What is his name? I'm like the worst comic book fan ever because he's like, I mean, he's an obscure character, but he's also brought up a lot. Like Injustice 2, his bar that he owns that's on the docks or near the docks is a stage, but he's like this sailor guy who owns a bar and runs it, and he also thinks of himself as Superman's best friend.
Sounds like a very
so he's like
because
he's like accidentally been caught up in Superman stuff before, so then it'll go to his bar and he's like, as he's like pouring people drinks and stuff, he's telling them about the time he helped Superman fight Darkseid and stuff. Like it's like he's a very like he's like Jimmy Olsen. He's like not Jimmy Olsen. He is like the... You know how comic books often, especially like way back when, would have the little boy character who the little kids reading could like put themselves into. He's like part of the fan club, and for some odd reason, everyone's like, "Yes, little boy, you can come help us fight the supervillains." Yeah, and he's like that character, but like a 50-something-year-old man.
I love that.
Anyway,
that's me as an adult.
I could be describing the character poorly, but that's like what I remember of the character.
Yeah, that seems very Beck Bennett-esque.
He also has one of the most emotional scenes in the Death of Superman movie.
Don't spoil that for me.
I won't.
But they included in the movie.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert: Superman dies. But
just kidding. I faked like I was going to walk off the podcast. And then we got Michaela Hoover was cast as Cat Grant in Superman. I'm not sure who that is.
Cat Grant is.
I'm not going to lie to you.
She's another reporter. At the Planet.
Probably rivals Lois Lane.
Yes, I'm trying to think of like a Marvel equivalent because you know Marvel better.
Yeah.
Betty Brant, maybe she might be a Betty Brant equivalent.
Okay.
Or
so
she's
like
not. She's not a main.
But
she's not a main character. She's just another. She's not another important female character at Daily Planet. Yeah. Yeah. She's not a Gwen Stacy, but she's
like a side.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Marvel news, we got Jordan Peele reportedly had a meeting with Marvel about one of their upcoming films. It was rumored to be about the X-Men movie, but it didn't work out, is what I saw.
Yeah.
I was hoping people wanted to be Midnight Suns.
I saw a tweet where someone was like, "Here's how the conversation went. Can I make a good movie? No, I think we're done here."
That's fair. That's fair. We got some news on the next Avengers movie, was titled The Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
Sean Levy is in early talks to direct. And meanwhile, while they're waiting on his decision, Marvel plans to meet with other directors just in case. And it may feature more than 60 returning MCU characters and is said to be one of Marvel's biggest productions ever.
Can't wait for a 6-hour Avengers movie.
I'll be there. I'll be there day one. You know
They
it.
better introduce bathroom breaks at that point.
Intermissions.
Yeah.
It's like a movie 2's intermission.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the... We might not be able to sit.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, as old as it is, I'm not sure.
It might be fine.
Yeah.
X-Men 97 director Jake Castorona, he commented on having the series on Disney Plus allowed them to, quote, show violence and not have to shy away from it as well, end quote. He also said larger runtimes also allowed for creation of, quote, quiet moments to let characters and pacing breathe, which I completely agree is a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool Wolverine, we got a little bit of news. The Please Silence Your Phone PSA has officially been released online. Hilarious as ever.
Yeah.
It has officially been rated R for strong, bloody violence and language throughout, gore, and sexual references. So we're getting a first rated R MCU movie confirmed. I mean, it was confirmed. And it will have a runtime of 2 hours and 7 minutes, which is the longest Deadpool film to date, which makes sense because you got to tackle the multiverse stuff. Potentially the biggest Marvel news happened this week, earlier in the week. Once again, welcome to the 4th week in a row of our Venom the Last Dance move. We predicted this would happen.
Yeah.
We finally got the trailer. The new poster was dropped too, and I love the like little caption, "Till death do they part." I just found that so awesome. I have a couple of thoughts on the trailer, and I literally wrote down bullet points to go over.
All right.
Is it set in the MCU? Question mark. I'm not. This is like an open question.
It's set in the Sony
universe,
Sony
right?
universe, yeah.
But like, you watched the trailer, right?
Yeah.
So this brings me to my other one. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I know they cast between other things, but he's obviously Baron Mordo, and he plays like this military officer in this one.
Yeah.
He takes the symbiote from... Are we stranding in spoiler territory? It's been long enough.
Yeah.
From the bar that is in the MCU. So I'm like, can he travel through dimensions? That's what my question is. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the same bar, because he's got the same guy from Ted Lasso, Rojas. That's where I'm like, he's hunting the symbiotes, which I know there's a character that he plays that like hunts symbiotes because they killed like his son or something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how's he traveling universes if it's not set in the MCU? But
That
he took it from the MCU?
that is a little weird, unless
Yeah.
it's just a parallel bar that he also happened to leave a piece behind.
Right. In which case I'm like, what? Anyway, Juno Temple was cast as a scientist tracking the symbiotes, which that's not a note. That just, I love her so much from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Reese Ifans is cast, not as the lizard. So I'm like, Sony, my guy, what you doing, bud?
I think we need to accept that Sony wants to make a universe so bad.
Exactly. They want to make their own universe.
But then every time they're like, okay, we're going to make a Spider-Person project that isn't focused on Peter, and they either make Madam Web or they cancel it because it doesn't focus on Peter.
Don't you diss on Madam Web like that. I'm just kidding.
Look, I love watching
first
the
time I've
adventures
almost
of
walked out of
a
a movie.
woman tangling with the man who was in the jungle with her mom while she was
He
researching
did not
spiders
say
right
that in the
before she
movie.
died. They
He
didn't
did
say
not
it.
say that in the movie.
They didn't say it in the movie, but they said it in the trailer, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
It looks like some of the plot is all the symbiotes are coming to Earth, which is
The asteroid
awesome.
that he came
the
from.
asteroid, yeah. All those, and I hear people saying like this might be Null's appearance, which I'm like, don't leave it in Sony's hands, please. But I'm also like, Venom Horse
Yeah.
looked awesome. Sound as if it was
Yeah,
screaming into the
my
air.
dad texted me the trailer, and I was like, yeah, because Dad and I, Venom is like one of the few. There's kind of, my dad has this joke where if a new exciting new movie's coming out, he'll be like, let's go watch it. I'm like, oh, I'm already gonna watch it with Jay. So Venom is
This
one
is
of
gonna
the,
be your guys'.
so Venom is one of those movies where it's like, no, I go out of my way to go watch it with Dad because
Yeah.
Venom, the
Yeah.
first Venom we went and did that, second Venom we went and did that, and so that, and especially because a lot of the time my family's in likes MCU movies, and so Venom was one of
Yeah.
the ones where my mom and my sister were like, I don't know about that, so just Dad
It
and I
was
got to
kind of
watch
scary.
it.
Like, I mean, I saw it with you, the first one.
Yeah,
And I was like, dang, if I
But-
wasn't so used to it a little bit, I'd get a little bit scared from this one. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy it. It it's still PG-13,
yeah.
but like he's biting off heads
I
in the
also
trailer.
like this wandering fugitive thing they have going on with
Oh, yeah.
Venom. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
That's why I wonder why they don't write Hulk like that.
Yeah.
Because that's the old show that...
We got that from Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And then they distanced themselves from that pretty strongly.
Because like that kind of trope with a superhero is really exciting, especially because that way if you do sequels, then you can have excuses for why characters aren't back. He's always on the run.
Like in kind of like Thor Civil War and Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
There's excuses why they're not there because Hulk's not on Earth anymore.
Yeah, Hulk's on the run. So it's like, yeah. So Venom, very exciting.
Yep. I'm excited for it. I'm probably going to enjoy it, but I have my worries about it as usual. And that is all my entertainment news.
I have some anime and comics news, and then we're going to get right into the gaming news, and that's going to be, other than the tier list, the rest of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, with anime news, June 6th, we found out that Timothy Olyphant, is that how you say his last name?
I think so, Oliphant.
Timothy Olyphant has been cast as the Terminator for the Netflix Terminator anime, premieres in September. And I will say, the thing about the Terminator and Tomb Raider like animes is I don't know if anime is actually the right word for them. It's kind of become this thing where
it's that art style.
We just like, oh, it's anime inspired, therefore it's anime, and that's our way of going. It's not for kids because it's anime, and it's like, it's like Castlevania really toes the line. Yeah, but then you get things. This is almost. Like if this is an anime that we were talking about Vox Machina earlier, Vox Machina has a similar animation style. That's an anime. Yeah. Because it's very inspired by stuff like that. Young Justice, I believe the art director or the person who like refined the art style for Young Justice did that for Vox Machina and different action oriented shows like that. So anyway, that was an aside.
This is an aside.
Gainax, the studio behind Neon Genesis Evangelion has filed for bankruptcy. And you've probably never heard of that. No. I would say it is a quintessential anime, but it's also old enough that it makes sense that people who get into anime that's around our age might not know about it unless they're super into it. Yeah. But it's a major one and worth the watch. And it's sad to see that they have filed for bankruptcy. We also, the next Sailor Moon movie, Sailor Moon Cosmos, releases on Netflix August 22nd.
Shout out to Haley.
She and I are actually talking about it today.
You were.
This little, I guess it's been out for a while, and we're just now getting it. And she was saying how like people were like, "Are we ever going to get it over here?" Yeah. So it's exciting to see that get over here. And then as far as comics goes, we just have one big thing. DC Comics gives us a preview for the upcoming series under the Elseworlds banner, Gotham by Gaslight: The Kryptonian Age, which releases issue 1 on June 11th, a sequel to the comic about a 19th century Batman chasing down Jack the Ripper. This one follows the formation of the Victorian Age Justice League.
That sounds awesome. It kind of gives me like Marvel 1602 vibes.
It's kind of like that.
Only where obviously in a different century,
and it's very good. Gotham by Gaslight is just so good. Both the movie and the comic it's based on just so good. So it's exciting to see that. I just canceled my DC Comics subscription, because for adulting reasons, and I just now I'm sad.
You're like hovering over the renew button.
Come July 11th, I'll be able to read the first issue if I still had my subscription. Yeah. So, but. I guess I can find a way because our local bookstore doesn't get new issues of comics all that much, so I can't like go down and be like, "Hey, do you got issue 1 of?" So it's
Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah. But that is anime and comics. Now we're gonna get into gaming here. Before we get into the big stuff, we have a few other things.
Get ready.
On June 3rd, PlayStation confirmed the release and price of the PC adapter for the PSVR 2. Releases August 7th for $60. June 3rd, we also saw Kena, Bridge of Spirits, announces its release for Xbox this August. It was originally a PlayStation and PC exclusive. Metal Slug Tactics released a trailer confirming a fall 2024 release window. That kind of disappeared off the radar after it was announced, I want to say 2 years ago. Yeah. If it was only a year ago, then it's felt like a long time since they've said something. I want to say it was 2022 when we first got a trailer for it. Yeah. June 4th, we got an announcement trailer for Hitman 3 VR Reloaded. It's a VR version of Hitman 3. It releases on MetaQuest 3 this summer. The indie game Magical Delicacy, a Metroidvania, confirms a July 16th release date, as well as a launch on Nintendo Switch in addition to its other platforms. June 5th, NIS America announced RPG Maker With to release on Switch in the US and Europe on October 11th, 2024. It's already been out in Japan for a while. That's normal. The RPG Maker things, they usually come out in Japan first, and we get them up to a year afterwards.
Oh, wow.
June 5th, Sega revealed Sonic Team Update for the Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble game. Add Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, and Tails as playable characters. They release on June 25th. Also on June 6th, the next Dragon Age game has been retitled from Dragon Age Dreadwolf to Dragon Age The Veilguard. Biosoft will be showing off the game during an event on June 11th. This will include a gameplay trailer. Also on June 6th, Yooka Replayly was announced. It is a definitive remastered edition, I believe, with some, it's bordering on remake from what it looks like, of the 2013 3D platformer Yooka-Laylee. It's been announced with a trailer by its developers, Playtonic Games. I don't think I saw a release date or release window, but we know it's coming. We can wish list it on Steam now. We also got the indie top-down Metroidvania Crypt Custodian, about a cat doomed to clean the afterlife forever. I think this is the second week in a row I mentioned a game about a cat in the underworld. It has confirmed a Q3 2024 release. June 6th, Frog Gun Encore has released a trailer with a release date of June 25th. Helldivers 2 released an announcement trailer for Warbond Viper Commandos. I would guess that's the next expansion. And then on June 6th, Nintendo released Mega Man 1 through 5 for the Game Boy onto the NSO service. But on to the big stuff. So there was the OTK Games Expo and the Guerrilla Collective, which had a bunch of games, as well as the Summer Games Fest, IGN Live. Summer Games Fest included things like Wholesome Direct, Day of the Devs, and other things I'm forgetting the name of. But just a lot of presentations with a lot of games. So get ready for some rapid fire. I will stop and talk about, or you stop me and talk about any things that seem interesting. But we've got a lot to go through here. At OTK Games and Guerrilla Collective, we saw a gameplay trailer for Akatori, a gameplay trailer for Screenbound, which is a game where you're playing on a Game Boy, but you're also controlling a character in 3D. So when you do things in 2D on the Game Boy, it affects the 3D world around you and vice versa. Looks pretty cool. I don't know when it's coming out. A lot of these, if they have release dates, I kind of missed it because I was just going through trailers and writing down the game announcements.
Yeah.
We got an animated trailer for Big Boy Boxing. It's a hand-drawn animated, but with pixel art style.
Yeah.
It's a boxing game, but all the characters are cartoony. One of the characters you box is this little girl with a giant lollipop. She's kind of animated like Darla Dimple from Cats Don't Dance. And one thing you fight is it's three kids in a trench coat is one of the boxers that you fight. It's that kind of off the walls humor.
It's like our last tier list, but with for real.
Yeah, it look. Gameplay trailer for Temtem Swarm. I couldn't tell if that was a sequel to Temtem or a expansion to Temtem. There is also the announcement trailer for Finding Frankie, the newest addition to the mascot horror genre. It looked generic, honestly. The official demo trailer for Once Human, the official trailer for Solarpunk, gameplay reveal trailer for Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery. We got an announcement trailer for Combo Devils. We got a release window announcement for Beneath. I did not get that release window written down, unfortunately. Early access launch trailer for Diabotical Rogue. We got Low Life Forms, a PvPvE, person versus environment shooter coming in quarter 4 2024. June 6th, the new gameplay trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, a pixel art 2D exploration. It's a first of its kind in the series. It's confirming a release on all consoles. I did not see a release window. We got a reveal trailer for Killing Time Resurrected. We got a release window for Neon Blood. We got a gameplay video for Fallen Aces, gameplay trailer for Project Z Beyond Order, a reveal trailer for Reckless, a gameplay video for Hollow Body, a gameplay video for Sky Ocean Wings for Hire, which looks cool. I want to say Sky Ocean is a old series that kind of disappeared. We got a gameplay trailer for Corsairs Battle of the Caribbean. I know I said that wrong, but I say it like the movies, even if I'm talking about the sea.
Caribbean.
We got a release date trailer for Akimbot. I also missed that. Release window trailer for Post Trauma. Also missed that. Release date trailer for Tomba Special Edition. Also missed that. We got the demo launch trailer for Duckside, which is, have you ever heard of Rust? Like
Not
it's a
Rust.
game.
Yeah.
Anyway, a survival game with the duck. You get a duck with a gun, and you go out into the wild and survive. We also got an official gameplay trailer for Under the Island. And a lot of these trailers I need to go back and watch because some of those games looked really interesting. So as for Summer Games Fest and IGN Live announcements, Civilization 7 was announced for release in 2025. Power Wash Simulator announced its next expansion with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Yes. I've never played that, but it sounds satisfying. I've seen some videos.
Turn off the music on the game, play your own music, listen to your podcast, and play it. It's very relaxing. Yeah.
Oh.
Especially when you get the DLC, like the SpongeBob Back to the Future, Laura. There is one where it's the mansion from Tomb Raider.
Yes.
So satisfying. We got a reveal trailer for The Thing Remastered, a remastered version of the 2002 game that continues the story of the John Carpenter movie. First look at Lance Slashblade from Inside Out 2 again.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention it again because that scene was very funny.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're actually getting more.
Movie.
I'm so glad we're actually getting more out of the other emotions this time. Like,
yeah.
Did you see the clip where Joy was like, "Of course I'm delusional."
Of course I'm delusional. I have seen that.
She's
delusional.
We got an extended look at Monster Hunter Wilds released in 2025. Looks pretty good. I'm hoping by then I have a console that I can play it on.
Mm-hmm.
The announcement trailer for Lego Horizons Adventures coming to PlayStation, Switch, and PC this fall. Absolutely wild that we're getting a Horizons game on Switch.
Yeah. I'm like, I saw that and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I was like, I mean, I had the tall neck Lego set.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to build.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird that it's Horizons out of all game franchises.
Exactly. Because, I mean, like, I've played the first game. I haven't played the second game.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who knows me, maybe not anyone, but I mean, I'm like, Horizon is not my favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
I found the first one kind of boring. I like robot animals. That's kind of why I got it. And that's kind of probably why I'll get this.
I wonder how many kids who are going to want this even know what Horizons is.
Exactly.
That's what I want to know. But who knows? It's Lego. It's Horizons, which both have an audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's Lego, I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm hoping it's not just like a rehash of the game because I'm like...
It doesn't look like it. It looks like it plays like it's like a top-down rogue-like maybe.
Yeah.
So we got new info on the Season 2 content of Street Fighter 6, including the addition of M. Bison and Elena from previous Street Fighter games as playable characters. M. Bison comes out this month, I think. Mm-hmm. And we also got the Fatal Fury King of Fighters characters, Terry, Bogard, and Mai. That's pretty exciting. All four of those characters, very exciting. Mm-hmm. Especially Elena. She's a fan favorite who I don't think has been in a game since Street Fighter 4. So, and even then she was DLC released way after.
Yeah.
We also got a new trailer and info on Sonic Cross Shadows Generation, the 2-game collection featuring a new Shadow story and the re-released Sonic Generations with, I believe they showed some gameplay of a hub world for Shadows part of the game that plays a lot like Sonic Frontiers. And so it's like, I thought, oh, it's just levels from Sonic Generations, but with like new levels, but you're playing a Shadow. It looks like it's completely new gameplay. So that's pretty cool. So you're getting 2 games in one if you buy that.
Yeah.
That releases October 25th on all consoles, I believe. I believe all consoles. We also had announced Quidditch Champions on all major platforms, releases September 3rd. We got more look at the Night Springs expansion, which released June 8th for Alan Wake 2. We got the announcement trailer for Batman Arkham Shadow, the next full-length Arkham adventure about the Rat King and his cult.
Hang on. Is that the...
It is a MetaQuest VR game.
Okay, that's the VR one.
It releases this fall.
Are you about to tell me you're getting like a full console, another Arkham game? Because I was about to lose my mind.
I wish.
Oh, Arkham Knight.
I don't think we're going to see another full console game from the Arkham people for a while
because Gotham Knights was
Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League did not do well at all,
and Gotham Knights
and so Gotham Knights wasn't the same people.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was. And
I haven't played it yet.
they've said that they're going to start working on single player stuff again, but we probably won't. Yay. That means they're going to be back in their bread and butter, but we're not going to see it for a long time, which sucks because I really feel like I feel like the company needs to release something good because we've waited so long for Suicide Squad for it to be what it is, and a lot of that seems to have been from the team has never made a free service game before, so they were not at all prepared, and B, Warner Brothers executives apparently got really involved with how the game was made, and so it led to a lot of decisions being made that probably shouldn't have. Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing all around, and it's double disappointing that we get into an Arkham game and it's a VR game, and VR is cool, but a small selection of gamers actually get to play VR games because it's so expensive. So we also got a trailer for The Big Catch, a gameplay trailer for Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter. We got a trailer for We Never Yield, a trailer for Thank Goodness You're Here. We got a gameplay trailer for Deck of Souls. We got a trailer for Mexico 1921 Deep Slumber. We got a new trailer, and this is an exciting thing for me, so we're going to talk about this a little bit. It's a retro-style text parser adventure game. So it's point and click, but instead of pointing and clicking, you're typing in what you want the character to do. Ooh. So it's like, have you heard of King's Quest? So King's Quest is like very early computer adventure games. I had a family member, someone who had it on their computer, and I have very little memories, but memories of playing it. I love point and click adventure games. It's just my thing. And text parser games are so rare anymore because it's just, we've kind of grown beyond that kind of gameplay. Yeah. But what it is you get it's a point and click adventure screen. You have a room with like doors and bookshelves and stuff, but instead of pointing and going, okay, look at bookshelf, you type, look at bookshelf. And then the character goes, oh, hey, there's a newer book. The rest of the books are dusty. And then you go pick up new book and
Yeah. I would love that.
It's called The Crimson Diamond. It's been in development for a long time. I've been following the development for forever. Mm-hmm. It finally, we have a release date of August 15th of this year. I'm so excited. I have played the demo. It's PC. I wouldn't. I would doubt that you could get it. Hey, you can come over and play it on my computer.
There we
go. We got a trailer for Dungeon Crawler, I thought it was a dungeon crawling game, but it looks like it's more like a puzzle game where you're in the middle of combat while you're going through a dungeon, but you're playing a claw machine game to pick up items for your character to use. Ooh. And the whole concept is you play as a rabbit who has gotten his foot cut off, and so his foot's been replaced with a claw, and so you're doing the claw machine as he's going and getting his Lucky's rabbit's foot back.
Yeah.
So that looked cool. We got a trailer for Demon School. Trailer for Witch of Oblivion, trailer for Wolfhound, trailer for Demon Spore, trailer for Chain Staff. Those all looked pretty cool, especially Demon School and Witch of Oblivion looked pretty cool. I couldn't tell what type of games they were because I only glanced at the trailer just so I could write it down. Yeah. We got a trailer for Squirrel with a Gun.
Yes, I didn't know that was a thing until today.
Where you play as a squirrel with a gun.
Oh my goodness, I saw the shotgun. That dude's doing parkour. She was like just setting it up and then jumping on the trigger and then jumping back down again. Launching up. It's like, this game looks amazing. It's giving me Goat Simulator vibes.
It's very much.
But I feel like I'm going to love it.
And we did get a DLC announcement for Goat Simulator 3 today. I did not get that one written down. I just saw it before we sat down to record. Yeah. There was trailer for Nobody Wants to Die, which looked pretty cool. Trailer for Stormforged, trailer for Canyons. We got a collector's edition announcement trailer for Black Myth Wukong. We got a reveal trailer for No More Room in Hell 2. We got a gameplay trailer for Neva. We got a trailer for Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. We also got a release date trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Shout out to Trey.
The release date is October 11th.
I think it said it's like the first one since like 2004, I think.
So. Not like first that. Dragon Ball game, first of that series.
Yeah.
Looked pretty cool. I wish I was in Dragon Ball, but when sitting down to start a long-running franchise that I really need to catch up on because I thought was interesting, it was either that or One Piece, and I chose my poison.
Yeah. Which I'm sure Trey would love you for One Piece more than that anyway.
We got a mecha design trailer for Mecha Break. We got official Tears of Metal trailer. We got official trailer for Metaphor Refantazio. It is from the developers of Persona 5, their upcoming RPG. Atlas, which is the developers or publisher developer. They're like split into tiny teams, I think. So like this team works on that, this team works on that. We gave us more info. It releases October 11th, and there's a job system. And I don't know, do you know how job systems in animes work? Where it's like a class in RPG, where it's like, oh, I'm a bard, I'm a warrior, but it's jobs is what they call it. So there's been games where you get like, oh, a merchant as a job, and so that gives you some like haggling and extra money.
Gives you like perks.
It gives you perks,
Yeah.
and so this game has more than 40 jobs for characters to take on.
Woo!
Which is a lot. So not only is it going to be a huge, anime fest RPG, it's also going to have, all that content to work towards.
Yeah.
We got a reveal trailer for a retro beat 'em up, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which looks pretty cool. I wasn't into Power Rangers as a kid, but it looks cool. Reveal trailer for Battle Aces. We got a reveal trailer for Delta Force Hawk Ops. We got a reveal trailer for Dune Awakening.
I did see that was like set in an alternate timeline where Paul is not born.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna get that.
We also got a story trailer for Unknown 9 Awakening. A lot of things.
Awakening.
Well, I forgot to mention it. The name of the trailer for for Metaphor was Awakening trailer. Really liking that word. A reveal trailer for Wanderstop, which it's from the creator of Stanley Parable, and it's like you run a tea shop, I think is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It looked interesting. You got an official trailer for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Official trailer for Entora Last Song. We got a release date trailer for Last Descendant. I did not get that release date written down either. I'm not as organized as I would like to be with this.
Busy.
We got early access release trailer for Hyper Light Breaker. We got a gameplay trailer for the horror game Slitterhead. We got a new update announcement for Pal World. We got Valorant announcing it's coming to PS5 and modern Xbox consoles. Body Cam got a launch trailer. We got a trailer for Phantom Blade Zero. We got an official trailer for A Death in the Red Light, for AIVI, for Pinball Spire, Forgotten Seas again, Cursed Dawn, Get Your Tentacles Off My Waifu, which seems to be a bullet hell where you fight like tentacle monsters as My Little Pony-esque characters. This is where society has gone. We also got official trailers for Immortal Hunters, Blood Reaver, Chronomon, Everholm, Soul Quest, Dwell Link, War of the Nine, The Haunting of Joan Evers. I wrote that down wrong. We got a trailer for SCP Fragmented Minds, Shoot on Sight, Echoes of Plum Grove, Hauntsville, Dark Deity 2. We also got a reveal trailer for G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra, which is also a retro beat 'em up. Mm-hmm. I think because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one that released a while back did really well, they're starting to go, okay, we're going to take these older franchises and turn them into little beat 'em ups, which the more the merrier. I really like those kind of games. Yeah. We got our official trailer for Shrine's Legacy, World of Football, and that's soccer for you Americans out there.
Football.
We got a official trailer for Adventurer's Gambit, Dungeons of Fortune. We got a reveal trailer for a game called, I think it's pronounced Karen, but it's spelled with a C and an I instead of a and a K and an E. We also got a reveal trailer for Pedal Runner. We got a reveal trailer for Fatal Fury, City of Wolves. I think it's a fighting game. It looked like it might have been a beat 'em up, but I think it's a fighting game. Terry Bogard and Mai that I mentioned earlier from those games. Announcement trailer for Cult of the Lamb Unholy Alliance, the new co-op expansion for Cult of the Lamb, adding a goat as the player 2 character. We got a reveal trailer for Professors, the S is in parentheses. I did not see what kind of game that was, but the art style was interesting. We got Tenjutsu reveal trailer. Bloomhouse confirmed its lineup for its upcoming horror games for the recently established Bloomhouse Games.
I saw that.
We got Crystal, Theater of Idols, Grave Seasons, Sleep Awake, Fear the Spotlight, The Simulation, and Project C. 2 of those have graphic or art styles that really interest me. Kind of retro PS1 looking and Pixar art looking. So that's exciting. We got an official trailer for New World Aeternum. We got an official trailer for Skopje. It's Skopje in all caps, 83. An official trailer for Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, which it looked like it was like a cartoony animated style. That seemed interesting. We got Rosh Pit Champions 2 trailer and gameplay. We got a trailer for Chromagun 2 Die Hard, but it's spelled like tie-dye. We got a trailer for Dragon is Dead. We got a gameplay trailer for Dark and Darker. We got a trailer for Deer and Boy, which looks like it's another one of those it's a puzzle game where you have two characters to control, and it's cute because it's a young child bonding with a woodland creature or monster. Like, I don't know if there's a name for that genre, but we ought to have a name for that genre at this point because there's a lot of those games. We got our trailer for Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. I probably absolutely butchered that. We got our trailer for the mobile game Squad Busters featuring Ken Jeong in a chicken suit.
Yes. That sounds so
we
fun.
got a trailer and reveal for a new Killer Bean game.
I think I saw that.
I
just saw as in like...
Yeah, you saw the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a reveal of Battlevision Network, reveal of Phoenix Springs, which Phoenix Springs is a point-and-click game with like a green and black is like the colors for the art style. Like it's like retro. It looks like it's right up my alley. Reveal of Building Relationships, a dating sim where a house goes on a date. We got a trailer for Tides of Tomorrow, a upcoming expressive 3D platformer. That I don't think that's coming out till 2025. We got a trailer for Koira, a trailer for Zoocosis, which I believe is a horror game set at a zoo where these animals are suddenly mutating, including like a giraffe getting spider legs. I believe that's what I could be mixing two games up, but I believe that's Zoocosis. We might get you to play your first horror game.
I don't know.
We got a trailer for While Waiting. It's a puzzle game about waiting. We got a trailer
like waiting on something, or like
so like you're
tables?
waiting in line. And so you have puzzles to solve to get this character to stay patient, or you're waiting to go to in the elevator. It's a very niche kind of like puzzle game.
Yeah.
If I showed you it's more interesting than me describing it.
Okay. You can't see my face obviously, but
he looked really like
very puzzling looks. Like what? Yeah.
So we didn't get a game announcement here, but we have a pretty good and big announcement. So the game developer Ludwig. He made Rivals of Aether. I'm sure you've heard me and Trent talk about that. He announced the founding of Off-Brand Games, a publishing company who will first publish Rivals of Aether 2. That happened, I think, because they were having trouble getting a publisher for Rivals of Aether 2. And so they're like, well, we'll just publish it ourselves.
Yeah.
So that was only day one. And so now
I saw day two and I was like, what?
So now we have day two, and day two I missed a lot because I had to work, and so I missed 2 or 3 presentations. I believe the presentations I missed were Future of Play, Women-Led Games, and Future Game Showcase. So if anything that was announced during those and weren't just updates on games that kind of overlapped, we might bring it up next week because we also have Sunday and Monday is the last half of the Summer Games Fest, which we will bring up next Monday. So just keep an ear out for that. But for the Wholesome Direct, we got Myth Match, a puzzling game about Artemis helping the mortal realm. It looks really good. Really cute. We got Caravan Sandwich, an adventure game about a boy trying to find his sister, and you both control the boy and drive a truck and solve puzzles that way. And this, like, it might be open world, or it's like open world quote, but it's, it's pushing you the right direction.
Kind of like directed open world.
Yeah.
Or limited open world.
We got Tiny Bookshop, a cozy game about running a traveling bookshop. We got ETE, a cozy painting adventure game. We got Discounty, a grocery store sim with social elements. So you've seen me talk about Stardew Valley. It's like that, where you're running a new chain. Like I think it's basically supposed to be that you are the Joja part of Stardew Valley. You're running a Joja store basically, and there's darker things about the game. We got the new game announcement, Rooster, a point and click about the animals of the Chinese zodiac, sending the rooster back in time to learn lessons.
Ooh.
The developer of it, because this was all indie games, so like it was like really down to earth, and like the people were like talking like personal reasons why the games were being made. Apparently the creator had a dream about it, and she was like, okay, I need to make this game. Playdate, which is like Playdate is like a little like a modern Game Boy console with like a crank on the side, as like it's like it announced some games that were coming to it. We got Into the Emberlands, a roguelike cozy exploration game. It goes into early access June 19th. We got Squeak Ross, a home decorating game with mice with Picross puzzles. So you get like a mouse in its cage, and you solve Picross puzzles to get more decorations for its cage. We got Critter Cafe, an adventure game about rescuing critters to add to your cafe. We got Garden of the Sea, a first-person life sim with exploration and farming mechanics. Fantastic Haven, a world-building sim. Crab God, a side-scrolling strategy game about managing a family of crabs to clean the ocean. We got Ela, a Frosty Glide, a wholesome game about a witch with a focus on flying her broom. We got Sally, a life sim adventure game about traveling to islands on a flying ship. We got Great God Grove, an adventure game about the messenger of the gods. You suck up lines of dialogue and shoot them at other people to solve puzzles.
Oh, I love that. Sounds awesome.
We got Times and Galaxy, a sci-fi visual novel about the newspaper business. We got Culebra and the Souls of Limbo, a Paper Mario-inspired game about a snake ghost thing. That's the only way I can describe it. That's not the description the game gives. It's just the only way I can describe it. You help souls in limbo move on. Very much inspired by like Day of the Dead and like, you know, that kind of aesthetic. Dungeons of Hinterberg, a dungeon exploration game. You got Fruit Bus, a fruit truck adventure game, comes out October this year. We got Free Ride, a character-focused adventure through the spirit world. We got Lost and Found Co., a seek and find game. Little Land, a top-down adventure game in the style of the classic Zelda games with an art style that seems to be very reminiscent of the Link's Awakening remake, which you will see when we do the tier list, because that's the next game we got to talk about for that. We got Usagi Shima, a bunny collecting game. We got Minami Lane, a cozy street building game, has announced a Switch release. We got Pool with 4 O's, a cute game about playing pool. We got Tiny Lands 2, a sequel to Tiny Lands. It's a Spot the Difference game, but with 3D dioramas. Moonstone Island, which is it's Stardew Valley meets Pokemon. It has announced a release date for a Switch release on June 19th. On Your Tail, a summer life sim game with mystery-solving mechanics, had a trailer. We got Spilled, a river cleaning game about oil spills. The Palace on a Hill, a farming and life sim based on summers in India. We got Traveler's Rest, announces a city and story update for this July. Petite Island, a cute island exploration game. We got Albatross, a mountain climbing game. Magical Baking, a magic bakery game. While Waiting, again. Sopa, an adventure game about a boy trying to get potatoes from the pantry but discovers a world beyond it when the potatoes are stolen by a creature.
Narnia, but in a pantry.
Yes, it looks hilarious. I cannot, because the grandma's like, or the grandma or the mom, whoever's like, go get potatoes. And so he goes and gets potatoes, and this little like sock puppet looking creature like has the bag of potatoes, and he's like, that's mine. And so he like gets pulled into the world. And the beginning of I forgot to say, the beginning of the trailer, the sock puppet creature that steals the potato is sitting there at a table and is like, I used to be the head of the black market until that boy came along. And then you find out the story. It looks so funny. We got Tracks of Thought, a puzzle game about a ladybug helping NPCs remember things, and it has card combat. I remember that game being announced a while back, so I don't know if that was a release date trailer or what, because I missed this tail end of that. We also got a Latin game showcase, games, or Latin American game showcase, games made by predominantly Latin American teams. The Midnight Crimes, a Telltale-inspired game. Path into the Abyss, Among the Stars. We got a demo and trailer for Desvelado, a trailer for Windrunners. We got Atomic Picnic gameplay. We got Abyss Cross Zero. It was a low poly, like 3D Metroidvania game. Very anime inspired. I think there was like a motorcycle, like Akira, doing like the sideways.
Like the sideways drift.
Amongst many others. We also got Rolling Hills, Make Sushi, Make Friends, a game about running a sushi shop as a little cute robot. And that comes out now on PC and Xbox. Light Odyssey, a 3D boss rush game about a civilian robbed of its light. We got Psychroma, a narrative-driven side-scroller about being a digital medium. Talos Principle 2 showed off Road to Elysium. That update comes out June 14th. We got Crush House, a game about producing a reality show in 1999, which looks absolutely hilarious.
That sounds like, yeah.
Angry Foot, an angry kicking game, which involves you kick down doors and then you kick and shoot people, and it's very high energy. You're running, you're trying to do complete levels as fast as possible. There was a demo a long time ago that I watched Jacksepticeye play. It looked hilarious. Yeah. And it looks like you unlock different sneakers that have different stats, and so it's
unlocking different brands.
That releases on PC July 11th. We got a first look at Seeing Stars DLC for the sorting game A Little to the Left. And then, like I said, I missed Future of Play, Women-Led Games, and Future Games Showcase. So if there's anything I missed, we might bring that up next week because there was just a lot to get through.
Yeah.
But that is the end of what I was able to gather news-wise. Other than
For
anything,
the first half of Game Fest.
other than anything I missed after 3 o'clock today. This past, or for you guys, it'd be past Saturday. For us, it's today.
Yeah.
But so that was a lot to be excited for. A lot of indie games, a lot of smaller teams, and that's mostly because most of the major studios have had massive layoffs, and so a lot of the games that we should be excited for are going to take way longer. And that's a whole conversation in itself that, unfortunately, as long as this episode's going to run, we don't have time for. I wish we did have time to talk about the serious stuff, but we want to get you guys the fun news first. So there's all the fun news. If any of those games sound interesting, or if I wasn't able to describe the game and the title sounded interesting, look it up or go to the IGN YouTube panel or YouTube page or the web page or the Game Awards YouTube page where the Summer Game Fest stuff will be, and check this stuff out for yourself because there was a lot to process and I was only able to process so much of it. And there were some games where I was like, I like the art style. I'm going to have to remember to look that up. So, but yeah.
Squirrel with a gun, I want to play bad.
Ever
since that trailer, that seems like I want to have a good time with that.
Very, very fun.
Good time. We got a couple of celebrity deaths this week. As usually, we book that at the end of the episode. Earlier this week, Brother Marquis, he was 57. He was the rapper of Two Life Crew and from 99 Problems. He passed away. Eric Anderson, the actor who plays Kerry Russell's dad on Felicity, he passed away. He was 67. Alan Scarf, he was 77. He's an actor from Lethal Weapon 3 and Double Impact. He passed away this week. And Craig the Snake. Anyone who watches Good Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link knows Craig the Snake. He passed away this week. It was announced.
Very sad.
Sadly. My sources this week, I actually got quite a bit. I got Movie Insider, Deadline, Discussing Film, Animation Magazine, Bloomberg, Empire, @Physical Media, WGA Directories, comicbook.com, CNBC, Variety, @Complex Pop, Hollywood Reporter, Inverse, The Insnider, Unilad, The Wrap, Entertainment Weekly, Fandango, People, Omelette.com, One Take News, IndieWire, @The Montyverse, The Times, and Entertainment Tonight were all my sources for all my various pieces of news.
I also want to say thank you to my sources this week: The Verge, Polygon, Game Informer, IGN being the major one this week. They kept track of everything. GameSpot, Discussing Film, Nintendo Everything, Nintendo Life, comicbook.com, and official sites and socials of the studios mentioned this week. And as always, we are now switching on to our tier list. If anyone forgot, our June tier list will be all Zelda games ranked by Jay,
who has never played a Legend of Zelda game.
Based purely on vibes. I give him a screenshot
on vibes.
Or two. I give him a description of the game story and the gameplay and the title of the game, and that's all he has to go off on. So I have our.
And as I stated last week, I am very scared.
And I'm not telling him how popular the games are or my opinion on the games until we are done.
As usual, or not as usual, we're not moving any of these around the next week just because I don't want to like double second guess myself.
For tier lists like the Disney Princess, if there's ever things where we both have input, it's like, okay, no, we learned something last week, then we can change this week. For these, no.
These are mostly gut reactions.
These are gut reactions. These might be a little faster because like we're doing 8 games at a time, so we can cover all the Mondays of the month.
Yeah.
However, 3 of these games that we're about to talk about are all the same version of one game, but I would consider them separate games because of the experiences they provide.
Are you going to tell me that before which ones they are beforehand, or just wait till after?
I'm telling you this now because the games we're about to talk about.
Okay.
And so some people are like, well, what about the other re-releases of games? Those didn't add enough different stuff for me to warrant bringing these up.
New thing.
So we have Link's. Our next game is Link's Awakening for the Game Boy.
Okay, I had my gut reaction.
So it's a lot like Link to the Past, that kind of old retro 2D, this black and white one here, and also the green one here. So we have the green one's more like what it would look like on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
The black and white one's just straight up screenshot.
Yeah.
So Link's Awakening is about Link is on a boat and it crashes because of a storm, and he wakes up on an island that I can't remember the name of it, but he wakes up on the island and he is told there's really no way off. People have tried to leave the island, there's just no way off. So he's sent on an adventure to collect these 8 musical instruments to wake up the windfish, who will be able to bring him off the island. And I could say a twist to the game, but I'm not going to say the twist, because you might play these games eventually. I would like to sit down with you and play these Zelda games, get your first impressions on them.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there's that. It had the thing about the game is it's on Game Boy, so it's a lot more limited.
Yeah.
It's like Link to the Past, where you have 2 buttons. So one button is one item, the other button is the other item. But it also is interesting in you can unequip your sword and replace it. Like your sword has to be one button, but if you can replace it with another item, if there's ever a puzzle that requires 2 different items at once. There's 2D side-scrolling sections of it, sort of. Like there's just sections where you just kind of jump across and you exit the room.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Mario characters and other Nintendo characters cameo in this, especially through there was a Game Boy camera you could connect, and that had a functionality in the game that would give you pictures, and there was some like cameos like Princess Peach and stuff in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is Link's Awakening.
I was going to say my gut, and I think we prefaced last week, we're like with those 7 goals on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much goal driven
Yeah.
when it comes to video games. My gut said B.
All right.
I think I'm going to keep it there.
Keep it B?
Yeah.
Alrighty, fair. We now have Link's Awakening DX. This was the Game Boy Color enhanced version, which added 1 new dungeon that utilized the fact that the Game Boy now had color.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's essentially the same game. And so there's just a comparison screenshot of what the same screen that the last screenshot I showed you.
But with color. I'm going to say A.
A?
Because I like the colorized.
Alrighty. And now we have Link's Awakening for the Switch. It was a complete remake of the game.
Just kidding.
And it looks like that. There's the same screen I was showing you.
Ooh.
Has a very toy-like aesthetic. And this brought additions like now that you have 4 buttons, you don't have to replace your sword and shield with things, and the shoulders. So now you have your other buttons to do items for, which made some things easier, but also it just kind of modernized it into how Zelda would work now.
Yeah. I want to say A for that as well.
A? Alrighty. Yeah. Next, we have Link's Crossbow Training. It is a rail gun. It is a rail. It's a rail gun. Railgun shooter, is that the right way to put it? Basically, you're on what they mean by on rails. It's like, you know, did you ever go to Six Flags and ride the Scooby-Doo ride?
I've never been to Six Flags.
Okay, so there are rides where they're like you're given like a thing that shoots water or like shoots like balls, and like as you're going down the track, you having to shoot targets as you go down.
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff like that at Silver City.
So that's basically it. So it's that, but you have Link with a crossbow.
Okay.
And it was a Wii game. It was a full release, sort of.
Is that the same game?
Yes, that's the same game. Yeah. I don't know how to describe this. So there are Gorons with targets on their stomachs. So you're supposed to shoot them. It is the art style of Zelda Twilight Princess, which we will talk. I don't know if we'll talk about this episode, but we'll talk about it eventually.
I'm only laughing because the actual like shooter, like the scope,
it's pointed a little low. Crotch. Yeah, it's pointed a little low. Not alien.
Whatever that dude is.
It's a Goron. They are not aliens. They are creatures that are indigenous to the place. So,
my bad.
Thank you very much. But yeah, it came with a thing to make your Wii, like you could put your Wii remote in it, and so it felt like you were holding a crossbow. So
does it have like auto lock on the targets?
I know, because it required you were pointing. Point. Yeah, it was a Wii game, so they were showing off.
B.
Alrighty.
I was gonna say A, but then I'm terrible at stuff that doesn't have auto lock.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go through the last 4 here of the day. We have Majora's Mask.
I've heard about this one.
So it's the sequel to Ocarina of Time, which you've heard of.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask is about, so Link is in the woods. He's searching for someone. He's not sure who. Actually, no. he's searching for his fairy companion from Ocarina of Time. She's gone missing, so he's searching for her in the woods, and he somehow gets lost, and he finds himself in another like country, kingdom, whatever you want to call it, that this Skull Kid has stolen. The Skull Kids is like the name of the thing. They're not actually skeleton. They're actually kind of scarecrow-looking creatures. It steals a mask called the Majora's Mask and uses its power for mischief, not knowing that its power can be used to summon the Majora's Moon, which is going to crash into the world and end it all in 3 days. And so Link has to... and so the main mechanic of the game is Link is given a spell to use with his ocarina to rewind time 3 days. So he has to... You have 3 days to go into a dungeon and in-game days. 3 in-game days to go into a dungeon, get this item, rewind time so the world doesn't end, and use that item to go do the next thing. You also have, like, kind of Groundhog Day thing where there are side quests with NPCs where you can go, oh, I know what happens to them in 2 days, so I can do this thing to help prevent that from happening, and that gets me an extra item. Yeah. And it's a very dark and sadder Majora's Mask game because the themes of the game are knowing like what people,
impending doom,
how everybody's reactions to impending doom is. Some people are oblivious, some people aren't.
Yeah.
Anyway, the moon is the most notorious part of it because that thing is flying at you towards the game, getting closer and closer. Yeah. It gave me nightmares when I was a kid. But yeah.
I don't want to anger people.
Just put it wherever, man.
I was going to say
C. C?
It started out at B, and then it stressed me out a little bit.
Stressed you out a little bit with the 3-day thing?
Yeah.
Understandable. We also got the same game. It's Majora's Mask 3D.
That and it's like back and forth and back and forth.
We got Majora's Mask 3D, which is the game for...
Oh my word, I saw that screenshot.
The game for 3DS, remade for 3DS with a lot of improvements. Some people didn't like it. They think it's not as good as the N64. I think it's better. I'll give you my opinion on that because it modernizes it a little bit. You have a way to keep track of your side quests now. Like they give you a journal and everything.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, that's what the moon looks like in 3D.
It looks like a shark. It looks like a spherical shark. This dude looks like a gremlin. This dude looks like a shark. I'm going to say D.
D? Okay.
I don't want to see that.
Alrighty. D because moon's scary.
No, shark moon scary.
Shark moon scary, sorry. So let me recount one more time how many we've gone through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So now we have the Minish Cap. So the Minish Cap is it was for the Game Boy Advance. It plays a lot like Link to the Past, where it's top-down pixel. You have buttons that you can assign your items to, and what it is Link is the apprentice or son of a local blacksmith. He's the son of he's usually related to a blacksmith somehow a lot in these games. But he is also childhood friends with Princess Zelda, which it's one of the few times where they don't have just a connection because of destiny. They actually they grew up together, and there's I think romance is implied, more with these and one other set of Princess Zelda and Link that we'll talk about later. But anyway, so the villain Vati from Four Swords, don't worry. I know I mentioned Four Swords and he made a face. Don't worry.
E tier.
You only play as one Link. You only play as one Link. Okay. So Vati, under the guise of just a wandering knight, wins a local tournament at a festival that's happening in the kingdom and gets to open this chest or pull out a sword of the stone, and it unleashes monsters and turns Zelda, and he uses his magic to turn Zelda to stone. So Link goes on an adventure to try to find ways to defeat Vati and petrify Zelda. Along the way, he gets his trademark pointy green hat through a new companion who's like this. It's got like a bird face, and it talks to him and tells him what to do and stuff. Who tells him that he can have the ability. Doesn't give him the ability. He just lets him know the ability to go through these little stumps that shrink him down to the size of the. I can't remember the name of the people. They call him the Minish, but that's not actually. Mm-hmm. Basically, there are a civilization of ant-sized people, and you go back and forth between being tiny and big, and that affects you'll have enemies you just kill in the normal, but when you get into the dungeon in the tiny world, the boss is that enemy, but huge.
Yeah.
And so these are some screenshots of it. Very nice pixel art.
I do like that art.
And it's like Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds, where it's very objective oriented. This was not made by Nintendo. It was published by Nintendo, but Nintendo gave this game's development to Capcom, who makes Mega Man and Street Fighter and all that.
Because I'm very fascinated with... We've gone a little bit of a journey here with how I was going to rank this.
Mm-hmm.
Started out... You put it at F tier. Just kidding. I want to say a solid B tier.
B?
It started out C, went down to D, and then it went back up to C. And then I like the premise of like shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
like
very...
seeing like from a different POV if you're like a slot smaller.
Yeah.
So it put it up to B for me.
It's very... Because there's things like, oh, that collectible over there, I don't know how to get there in the overworld. I can see it's there, and there's shallow water around it, which I could just walk through. I don't know how to get there. Oh, no, the only way to get there is by shrinking down, but now the shallow water is an ocean because I'm shrunk down. So it's got a lot of those puzzles. Yeah. It's a very, 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 very interesting game. All right, so our last game we're talking about today, it keeps jumping me back up to the
beginning.
Anyway, we have Twilight Princess Picross. It's called My Nintendo Picross Twilight Princess.
I've heard of Twilight Princess.
It's just Picross with Twilight Princess vibes. That's the only...
D.
Alrighty.
I don't understand what Picross is, and as we've prefaced this before, I'm stupid.
Don't do that, Peter. I mean...
I am stupid. I cannot focus on that. That picture stressed me out.
I like Picross, but it's not everybody's.
It'll stress me out, and I'm like... I'm going to be worrying about which one needs to go exactly where, and I won't be able to focus on the game. D.
Alrighty.
As you can see, if it's in the D tier, it's usually no fault of the game. It's just my brain is too small.
Yeah.
To be able to process that game.
So, those were our Zelda games for the week. Next time we'll talk
kind of
some
all
more.
across the board.
A little bit of a recap.
No S tiers.
At S tier we have Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. At A tier we have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, A Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening DX, and Link's Awakening Nintendo Switch. In B tier we have A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Link's Crossbow Training, and the Minish Cap. At C tier we have Cadence of Hyrule and Majora's Mask, and at D tier we have Four Swords Adventures, Four Swords, Majora's Mask 3D, and My Nintendo Picross Twilight Princess.
I feel like people are going to hate me after this ranking of this month is over.
Oh, they won't hate you. They'll just berate you on the internet like most people do.
Exactly.
You could agree with them 100%. They'd still find something wrong with what you're saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's just the age of the internet we live in.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I hope this episode brightened your Monday just a little bit.
Yes. If you wanted a little bit more of us, you got it this week.
Yeah, so slightly longer, not as long as long as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But still slightly longer than we have been before, which makes up for last week being slightly shorter. So
exactly.
I think we
for
are
a couple minutes.
By 4 or 5 minutes. So,
yeah.
But don't forget to follow the podcast on all socials at Mondays for Nerds. You can find me on most socials at Sir Stumpsalot or Sir Stumpsalot17, and Jay on Twitter at Poe the Panda 001 or 001.
001.
Don't forget to, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow on wherever you listen to us.
Exactly.
And we will see you guys, or you'll hear us, I guess.
You'll hear us, you won't see us.
Next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.